Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jenny from the Chopping Block.
Good
Happy
morning.
Sunday. And I'm just so grateful and honored and excited to introduce you to our next guest, Inge Winterberg. And, I met Inge at a Tony Robbins event, which is funny because, we didn't really spend a lot of time together. I'm like a bouncer arounder. I like to meet as many people as possible. But I did remember your face and how beautiful you are. And it was amazing that we kind of reconnected in my first mastermind ever.
Oh,
And I was so lucky to have you as my accountability partner. Um, just super grateful and amazing.
oh,
And I want to shine light on you and honor you and just show the world how amazing you are by first talking about your journey as an entrepreneur and your fashion, are you, I feel like you're almost like an interior designer too. Like your style is just like, well,
also, yeah, yeah. So good morning and or good afternoon from Germany. It's already 5 p.m. or something. So thank you for the invitation. It's really, really wonderful to be here. And yeah, I'm an entrepreneur since 16 years. And yes, I love fashion. And actually, when I was younger, I wanted to do different things, but somehow my personal passion became my future, and I always had the opportunity to work for good people, so they always said, okay, do it, open stores from scratch. Like they were telling me, okay, this is the budget, and in here you have the keys, and here you have like the we say procura, and you can, you just go, you just rock, you just do your thing, and as long as you are creating high numbers, everything is good. So that was basically what I was doing for many years. And but I was always hungry because I'm from a normal family, but I was my parents divorced when I was in my teenage years, and so that brought me many questions when I got older. It was kind of difficult for me to have beautiful, relaxed, and fulfilling relationships. So I was always trying to catch up with those things that were missing in my life. So, and that brought me to many things I was doing, and I was always like curious to learn more. So, yeah, but I will talk about that maybe later on.
beautiful. So how did you get in? Because it was funny, like when I first started in my personal development journey, like the people that I was gravitating towards and looking up to were all in fashion. And
Mm.
I'm like, why is this happening? I'm just curious to like what brought you into the fashion world? Like what was your love of that world?
So it's not only fashion. It's everything. I love aesthetic things. I love art. I love everything that's beautiful. So it's not only fashion, it's interior, it's everything that's I love beauty. I love to be surrounded by beauty. I think um, I have a pretty good taste, and I love to create new looks and whatever that means. So somehow what I carry with me inside, I want to show in the outside. And I
So
love I
cool.
love colors, and like I said, I love modern art. I love old art, but I'm more into modern art, and that's always an inspiration, or also like the artists from before the war and the end of 1900, with all the colors and all the history background and everything. That's always an inspiration, what was going on in the world. And so fashion, interior, everything is always a mirror of society.
Beautiful.
And I love people, and so this is like this is like the full circle, people, connection, um, like connecting with everything that's going on in the world, and bring that into a beautiful frame. That's my, yeah, to somehow.
You express that beautifully, and it shows, and you have great success in it. And this show is named Recipes for Success. And when I first started, I thought, like, what was my intention for the show? And the two words that came to mind were just like resilience and inspiration. I want to show how people break through their limitations and go after what it is they want from life. And just be an inspiration to us all to maybe take those same steps, which you've clearly done for me as an example. But it's really cool now to be here sitting with you, and maybe if you have something that, like, because I'm sure you've had some obstacles throughout the journey.
Yes.
You've been in this store for 16 years, did you say?
Yes, since 16 years. And to be honest, I always, not always, but since I started working in business, and I was always, working for other people, and I always had the desire to work for myself, to be self-employed. And but I'm from a total normal family, but I'm not from, like the Trump background. So I never really had wealthy family telling me, "Oh, don't worry, Inge, we give you money, you can do whatever you want." So that was never the case. So I always had to work hard for whatever I wanted to do, and I had to really think about how can I do it? How can I get self-employed? And when I got pregnant and gave birth to my son, to my only child, and he's almost 17 now. I had luck and the opportunity through old connections. And also through my banker. She was also a woman, and she saw me, and she know me since many years, and she said, "Okay, Inge, we are going to do that. I trust you. I trust your ability and your experience, and I'm going to give you some money to go ahead and open that shop." And so that's how, and I had the connection also in retail, with all the brands. And now, when you start from scratch in the fashion industry, and you're like a nobody, then you will have some difficulties, finding the right partners and everything. And I'm working in an international environment. I have many European brands, but also from um, Japan, from America. So yeah, people need to know if you are paying your bills or not. I mean, that's always the question, right? I mean, you can talk for hours, but if you don't pay your bills, then that's not good. So, and that was the opportunity, and of course I had obstacles. So my first obstacle was, like I said, I'm not from a wealthy family, so I had to get some luck, and
resourceful.
yes, and I was working my way to that moment. So when you really have a dream, so in my case, it took at least 15 years or 10 years, 12 years to get where I wanted to go. But then I was ready to take off because I had the experience. Sometimes you need to build up some experience to really be, when you get like go, then you know what to do, then. But of course I was afraid, would I make it, through the first 2 or 3 years. They always say, okay, you need 2 or 3 years until it shows if your business is really successful, if you make good numbers or if you make bad numbers. And so yeah, and I passed through those years, and I didn't really sleep good sometimes. I also had my little child. I had time issues. I felt overwhelmed many times, and I must say clearly, After a few years, I opened up an online shop and a second shop, an offline store, a second one. And I must clearly say, I made a lot of money, but my I was married then, and my marriage fell apart through that. So sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. So after 11 years, I told my then husband that I wanted the divorce, and I was working, and I see it, after that. I mean, I don't want to talk too long. But it's definitely when you work a lot, you will probably have less time for your relationship, and that's something you need to know when you start, because when you're self-employed, you don't have office hours.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with that stuff all of the time. It never stops. It never stops. Even if you fly, if you go on vacation, you will definitely check on your numbers, on your bank account, on your employees. It never stops. Yeah.
Wow. So that's so, I hear everything you're saying, and I appreciate you, sharing everything with us. And my question is, what kept you like hungry and focused
Mm.
on that dream? Like, because they say, like, there has to be that passion in what you're doing, or else you won't make it. Say,
Yeah.
so what was that hunger and that love for what you were doing? Did that play a big part in that, or what was it? What did it mean to you?
So I think um, so. My driving force was always I want to be successful. So that's something I always had that on my front uh, my face. Whatever I did in my past, I always tried to make the best out of it. So I'm not somebody who's saying, "Oh, I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that." I'm like, "Okay, I'm doing it, so I'm doing it. I'm committed." Yes, I'm very committed. And through the years, I found that fashion and working in the shop didn't really satisfy my heart in from a how do you say it, from my personal inner part, not only the success driven thing, making money, being successful, living in a beautiful apartment, but my soul, my soul was craving for something else. And that's when I started doing different things. There are some background noises. Do you hear that?
Oh, my headphones are on. They're demoing the house here. We had a bad
Oh,
flood, so it's been a couple of months now. That there, if you hear a hammer or something, I
oh, okay, okay.
apologize.
So, so I started with a yoga teacher education. After that, I did interior design, and yeah, and so I was always putting, yeah, I'm a very curious mind. I'm a curious person, and it's always when I really love something, I want to learn about it. I want to get the details. I want to see, okay, is it something for me? And I'm not working as an interior designer as on a real professional basis, but I'm able to really give out my experience, my knowledge, and my taste. If somebody's moving to another place, then I'm happy to help them. To redecorate, find new colors. I also like things like feng shui and everything. To make really a beautiful home, and it doesn't have to cost like a fortune. Sometimes it's just, okay, remove this and add that and a little bit color and do the furniture from left to right. Sometimes that's all it takes. And that's the same with fashion. I also do fashion consulting. That means, so I can tell people what to wear for different occasions, and I'm also trying to help with colors. So I really love colors. I mean, I'm not really the today I wear black. I love black. I mean, black is also, it's like a fashion, how do you say, when you work, it's like,
Staple. It's like a staple. I know like all black in New York is like so classic, like
yes,
elegant. It's just the staple. Like,
yes, it's
yeah,
like, it's like if I would work for Lufthansa or Delta or something, they always put on their work clothes, and black is for artists and fashion people. It's always black
I
because
wear all black to work for years.
yes,
Like my thing too.
yes, I love that, and it's also about textures and qualities, and yeah. So, but I already said a little bit. I was
I
working
just
a lot, and
I want to ask you just one more question, like on the fashion side, because I know you have some good stories, and I just want to hear a little bit of like how, because I want to say like you love to travel, and
yeah,
maybe like a cool trip where you like found something that you brought back to the store or something along those lines. I'd love to hear something like
yeah.
maybe your favorite trip or your favorite, because you do travel to buy some merchandise, right?
Yes, so I was always traveling, always all my life. Also as a child, and later on, even when I was working, I didn't have a lot of money. But what I always did is I took my little suitcase or my backpack. I went to the airport, and I said, "Okay, um, I have time. Give me a last minute ticket." And I wasn't even asking for the destination. I was just saying, okay, give me just any ticket. So I was traveling a lot, and not only in Europe, but I think I have seen lot of many of beautiful places in the world. And of course, that's also something that's really important when you work in a creative job. You need some inspiration, and traveling is always my number one inspiration. Seeing different cultures, different tasting different food, going on markets, smelling something else, and seeing, how people interact, what they are wearing, and how they are talking, and everything is an inspiration. And so my biggest inspiration was definitely Japan. It always was Japan, because it's just, Japan has, for me personally, the highest aesthetic in everything. They're perfectionists in everything, in,
Well,
in
yeah.
food, in decorating, and they're minimalist, and also everything they do is with a purpose,
Precision. Yeah.
yes, and with a um, yes, with an awareness, and with love, and I love the patterns, the culture, the gardens, the food. It's yeah. So
Let's
Japan.
go.
I have a ticket to Tokyo for Christmas this year, but I guess I need to cancel it because yeah, Japan is closed until 21. They don't let people in, and if you can arrive there, you need to go in quarantine for 2 weeks, and I mean that's not really what I want to do in Japan.
All
So,
right. Well, I'll meet you there next year.
oh please, yeah. Oh, but next year there's the Olympics, so I guess we need to meet before or after.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
So I just love you so much. And everything you were saying, I was just like, yes, yes, yes. Because like whenever I feel stuck creatively, like I'm in the city or I gotta go, I gotta go. I gotta see
Yeah, me
things.
too.
It's just so important to me as well.
Yes, yes. And
So
so
I
this
love that.
year, it was really a challenge for me, because sometimes, I mean, I discovered something about myself, that traveling isn't not always only an inspiration, but it's also a way of escaping not so beautiful thoughts. So this year I was forced to stay here. And so for me, this year I've been to Amsterdam and to Paris. And after March this year, I haven't been traveling in abroad, only within Germany. And and that was a new experience for me because I didn't do that for years. So I was like exploring my own country, and it was beautiful, and it changed a lot in me. And I can totally see that traveling, going and just leaving and sitting on the plane, this is like a high energy thing. It's my one of my purposes. It keeps me smiling, happy, joyful, loving, laughing. It keeps me young. It keeps me flexible. It keeps me open and learning. So I so miss traveling. I can't really wait. I would fly to Japan 12 hours with a mask in my face if I
Yeah,
could air.
me too. And I just want to add, like, what you said again resonated with me. Like, you traveled within your own area. And I think that's part of the silver lining. Like, for me, I mean, I know when we were really talking all the time, like, I was working the 3 jobs and,
Yeah.
like, I didn't actually get to appreciate, like, where I live.
Mm.
And, like, once, this time came where we all kind of slowed down and had to, like, be stationary, like, I really, really, for the first time, realized, like, how beautiful it is where I live, like, how
Yeah.
much this place has to offer,
Mm. Mm.
aside from looking elsewhere. But, like, there's a lot of beauty, like, right in this area too. So that's a great point.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And sometimes, like you said, we are always jumping away and like ignoring the beauty of the things we have around us. And actually, I made a big decision. So I was always a city person, and but this year it was like I grew up in not in a big city, in a smaller city, and this year I made the decision to move out of the city. I said, okay, I need to be closer to nature, so that's what I'm going to do. So I think everyone has their 2020 COVID story discovery, right?
Beautiful. Absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing that, and being an inspiration to us all. I wanted to talk about next, your journey, how we met, through self-development. So
Yay!
yeah, I don't remember if Date with Destiny was your first. Did you say that was your first event? Or I
No,
remember us talking about how much we loved UPW, right?
exactly. Yes, yes. So I came to know Tony 3 years ago because I was um, I had a love affair with. It was just I was very much in love, but it didn't go nowhere. So I was like in my hamster wheel and thinking about it, and oh my God, what can I do? I feel so unhappy, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, I need to interrupt my own thinking, my pattern. I need to interrupt this. And I didn't know what to do because I was like, it wasn't me. I was like I had voices in my head. It was totally crazy. And then I was with friends. We were in London, talking about traveling, and um, I was like, okay, I need something. I was, taking my phone, podcast. I was listening, NLP. What can I do? And I was listening to this and that. I was like, ah, nah, oh no, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then I heard a
God
dark
called.
voice.
God?
Yeah, God, was that God? It was yes, it was a dark voice talking like, where focus goes, energy flows. I was like, who is this? So, and after that, I was like, Tony Robbins, never heard of that guy. Can you imagine? I mean, I was doing so many things, education and all that stuff, but I mean, I had it maybe heard somehow, somewhere, but it never really crossed my mind until then. And believe it or not, I was after that moment, I was totally hooked on Tony. I listened to everything, I read his books and all that stuff. And then in summer, 3 years ago in Chicago, I went to really spontaneously because my son, he went to a summer camp in Canada. You can see also my son, is uh, traveling a lot.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool things.
And I was like checking my calendar and it was, oh my God, it starts the same day my son is leaving to Toronto. And I was like, done, done. So I went to Chicago and that was like my beginning of my Tony Robbins love story. And yeah, so with his help, with his tools and mindset, and also because he's so practical, he makes all the complex, difficult, confusing things. He's nailing it down to with little easy things we can do, and with the quotes and
That
repeating.
2 millimeter shift, right?
Yes,
Those
and that really helped me. So I ended this relationship. I changed a lot of things. I grew. I could really feel that I was growing with all the tools he was offering. And after a while, I said, "Oh my God, this works so beautiful in me and in my environment. I need to be a Tony coach." So I went to Date with Destiny the same year. So that year, that was my travel years. I've been to the States, I think 3 times. I was traveling in Europe all of the time, and I've been to Japan twice. Everything in that year. So that was like,
Whew.
I landed, I washed my clothes, I packed again, and I left again. And so, looking back, that was somehow like the universe telling me, okay, Inge, hurry up because things will change. And yeah, so I became a Tony coach and the Core 100. And after that, I said, okay, so what has been difficult in my life a lot or many times was relationships. I found that dealing with people, not only with men, but also in friendships, it's sometimes it's really easy, and sometimes I could see there are things that I could improve. Other people were asking me how they could improve. So I was doing the strategic intervention relationship coaching program. Also, I'm also a wing wave coach, which is dealing with trauma. When you have or if you have difficulties, if you're uh, and if you have to do a test and you are scared to do it, or if you are afraid to enter a plane, and afraid of flying and stuff like that. So
like phobias and stuff.
yes, so that's really helpful. And yeah, so relationship, that's it's really a beautiful work because you can see that. I mean, when I was married, really looking back, if I had the tools then, maybe I would still be married, to tell you the truth, because there are so many things you can do when you are in a relationship and you don't want to end the relationship. Sometimes we just think, oh, I need to end this relationship, I got to get out. But we don't always have to quit. There are different things we can do to keep the relationship alive, or to get back to where you started. And you just need to invest some love, some interest, some time. You need to reconnect with yourself and with your partner. That's really good. Yeah.
So beautiful. And sorry, that's like my word today. But it's like, I've been super interested in the relationship space. You know, a little bit of my story
Yes.
regarding that. And it's been like a really big goal of mine to dive into this because I want my next relationship to be my last. And I want, you know, to learn what it takes. Like, I think I've been in semi-successful long-term relationships, but I want to be the best person I could be in that relationship. So can
Yeah,
you
that's
maybe
beautiful.
one thing that you picked up that's like your motto, like learning about this and diving into this space? Do you have like one thing you could share with us that really like hit home and like could help everybody?
Yeah, to really be authentic and be really true with yourself, and um, take full responsibility for who you are and where you come from. I mean, just take responsibility and make good choices, and stay and feel who you are and stay within your own part and within your own center. Because if you are really cleaning up your own space, head space and heart space, then you don't need to blame others, you don't need to shame others, you don't, you don't have to live in the outside world all of the time. When your head is cleaned up, and when you really value who you are and love yourself, have confidence, trust yourself, trust your gut feeling, know what to do, and don't overthink it, don't compare, just love yourself, stay centered, focused, then it's easier for other people to deal with you. Then they get what they see. And there's not this facade, and then after 3 months the facade is gone. Yeah, but that's what's happening all of the time. People are doing, they're like actors. They're like, oh, I'm Mrs. Perfect and he's Mr. Perfect, and then you date, and then I mean, it happened to me this year. Actually, I was dating a man and he was really so sweet, but he was pushing so hard and he was trying to please me so hard, and after 3 or 4 months, I told him, "Who are you? I don't see you. Who are you?"
Oh, yeah, that's so valuable. You know, I've been studying some interventions with my friend Jen. I don't know if you know Jen Ferris. We've been studying some interventions, and we've been focusing on the love part.
Hmm.
And everything you're saying, I'm going visual. I'm reminded of different situations, like the last intervention we went through, um, of like, you know, when you're, say, the man or the woman, you're trying to please the other person,
Yeah,
but you lose yourself in that.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. And it doesn't really. Also, I was always raised like, oh, be nice, be friendly. I mean, of course, I'm respectful with other people, but still, we have to allow ourselves to feel feelings and to express who we are. Then the other person knows, okay, this is like a no-go and this is okay. So it's like a roadmap. But if your roadmap is like, there's only one street and that only works when the sun is shining, I mean, how can you deal with other people, right? So work on your mindset, but stick with yourself. When we deal with ourselves, we have enough to do. And then when another person is coming in, we can just shine our light because we've done our homework.
Mhm.
Then it's easier. And then also for me, now when I'm dating men, and I can feel, and I'm doing a new education right now, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But, just to learning to trust your heart and to trust your emotions and the gut feeling you get when you meet people, and to really listen to what they're saying. not to only focus on the job, on the car, on the dog, whatever it is, but listen with your heart. And then
Absolutely.
And then it's different because I was also talking to many Tony people, and we have all those lists. Oh, he's got to be so many feet tall, and he's gotta have this and that. Now, starting with this new education, I'm kind of twisting this around because I don't think it's true. I don't think
See,
it's true
I
anymore.
have a love list on like maybe like qualities. I've never been like a physical attract. Like all my people that I've been with are so all over the place looks wise.
Yeah, me too.
I
Yeah.
don't always go for what I physically like love in a whatever, but like I did put it on my new love list as one thing, like to be for someone to be healthy or like take care of themselves.
Yeah, that's
And, and I want to be like really physically attracted to the
good.
person. Like I want to jump them, like, that's important to me. But you're saying like, is the love list like a good way to, what are you thinking? Because actually, just one more thought on that. I actually put something on my love list and
Mhm.
I experienced it and I hated it.
Yeah, that's something I experienced as well. Because yes, I got what I had on my list, like you just said. I can totally sign that. And I was like, oh really? Really? So I think it's more of what matches. Maybe it's something we don't even know yet. Because
Yeah.
usually we pick something we already know. Yes,
Interesting.
yes, and then it's
Love
like
you.
it's like you go to a restaurant and you know when you order that steak, you know how it tastes because you ordered it before. I mean, a steak and a man. I mean, that's not
I mean, it's similar. I hear you on this one.
but I think to really discover somebody by heart, that's something else, and that might be a person that would at first not be on your list. That's what I'm talking about. And I always had that hint inside of my head and my heart, yet I was still, yeah, sometimes I was driven by different factors. And now I'm saying, okay, I need to crush all those concepts. I need to learn some different skills, and then I will approach the whole thing again, but with a different view.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because like I was on I saw you were on Love and Sync also, and I was on, yeah, and one of the things I had a breakthrough on was like when you think about like a pickup line, right? And it's like, and this goes back to the love list. Like you could have everything on your love list like answered, or like the pickup line could be perfect, but it's like one of my favorite pickup lines where it was, I felt this great connection between us when we
Uh-huh.
first met. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's like where it's at. Like, because on paper, they always say like a guy could be perfect, but it's like, how does he make you feel?
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, that's what it is. Basically, trust your intuition, trust your gut, and let it flow. Give it a chance. Leave your head, because I can be also very much in my head, and that's something I need to overcome, to really just let it flow, be in the moment, open my heart, and just trust that the thing will, however it will turn out. Maybe it's just a beautiful date, maybe whatever, maybe it's the love of my life. I don't know. We don't know in that moment, and we just need to just try it out.
Yeah. And one of my favorite sayings, especially around this time of year with Thanksgiving, is just to always thank the person or the people for that part in your journey,
Yes.
because there's a reason for it.
That's beautiful. Yes,
Mhm.
to be, like you said, grateful, open, and loving, caring, and just to, be being friendly. And when we are approaching other people with a friendliness and with an open heart, they can also open up. It's helping them to just be themselves and to just and men are always. I think it's beautiful to deal with men because they are not so complicated and yes, it is.
It's amazing.
It's really sweet. I love men
They're
because
so sweet.
they're so sweet because they are committed. They don't play those games. Usually, I mean, there are men that are playing, but they have different issues. But usually, they are like, they want to show up. They want to be there. They
It's
want to.
simple.
Yes, it's simple, and I really, really appreciate that. It's really beautiful. So yeah.
Well, I'd love to talk to you more about this because it's become like more of a passion of mine these last couple of months. But I want to ask you more about the family, the constellation practitioner. And I don't really know anything about it. So I would love to hear about that and what you got going on with that.
So I think it's now 30 or 40 years ago. So there's a German man. He's dead now. His name is Bert Hellinger, and he was also a priest, and he lived in South Africa, and he came back to Germany, and he was. I don't really get the details, but he was. In some kind of congress with other people, and they were talking about the energy between the people. I mean, we know this energy subject. We know it from Dr. Joe Dispenza and everything. So we all know that we are connected, and we know from Think and Grow Rich that we can also like think ourselves into different frequencies. So you might be, I mean, the people that are watching, they might already know about a little bit of the energy work. And this Hellinger, he was getting to know this, and then he was defining it, and he was working on it, and he became the father of family constellations because he experienced that when people are getting together, and you can also do that with people that are not alive or that are not in the room, you can take other people, to get into the energy field of the asking person. So that means he's talking about the order of love. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. And the order of love means there are mother, father, they also have parents, then there are the children, the sisters, the siblings, but there's in this order, there are also the dead people. So during war, there were many people got killed. So they also belong into the family. And if there are dead people that are just ignored, like pushed away, oh, he's dead, or children that are not wanted, not appreciated, they still belong into the system. So this is a systematic work which is so healing, because then you will like move the people around in the room, and you don't talk so much, but you ask the people how they are feeling when they are standing there, and then you move them around a little bit, and the outcome is that everyone in the family included, alive, dead, whatever, they have a place where they belong in the system. And when every person is back on the place they belong, everyone is feeling good. And that the amazing work around it is really, and I have experienced that since 30 years. I'm doing it for my personal things as well, that you change the perspective, and you can see why things were happening as they were happened. You get a bird perspective on your own family, on your stories, and you can see, oh my God, oh my grandfather, so he killed 3 people during World War II, but he had to, because otherwise he would have been killed. But now, you can see that those 3 men, they also have family, and now you can really say, okay, I'm so sorry about what I did to you, and now their family can rest in peace, your family can rest. It's like everyone is experiencing their freedom and their peace of mind again. And for instance, I did this, and I could also see in my family what was going on with my grandparents, with my parents, and everything. It was so interesting. And then after a while, I started to talk to my father again, and it was like total peace and connection. And I didn't have to really ask a single question. My father, he was telling me about his journey and what he's been through, and I said, I know. So it was already healed before the
Not only do you know, but you felt
yes.
it. Like you felt it, like you experienced it, you
Yes,
healed it.
so when we heal the energy in that field, inside that field, the energy will be like transformed and healed outside. So, I mean, like I said, I was telling you before,
Beautiful.
so I had a dinner with a friend yesterday, and he's a lawyer. He was like, "Oh no, I don't believe in that." So, of course, I mean, you got to be open to really receiving and to really get into this energy, and but once you've experienced that, you will be like, it's mind blowing.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
it's the more and more, like, I love people, and like yesterday I picked up double shift, and I love talking with people, and the beauty of like the industry that I'm in, I get to kind of talk to people pretty intimately.
yeah.
And I just really realize more and more like how much those past things, especially from like childhood, and then you think about like it's really might even be from that person's childhood that
Hmm.
is still taking place now. And
Yes.
I talked to a gentleman yesterday. He had to be in his 60s, and he's still talking about certain things that I see it all the time,
Yeah.
but to be able to like go there with the intention for
Hmm.
healing.
And and the main focus is also for the people that are learning this family constellation. So that's me. Is also to reconnect with our inner child. And I was like always like, but now I can totally see it makes so much sense to really get to know your the small child you were before the world was telling you how you should be.
Exactly.
And
Hmm.
Tony Robbins is doing that also in at Date with Destiny. There's one day, I think the relationship day or something,
Hmm.
where he really takes
The
us
ba- the baby making day. Just kidding. I actually have a few friends that had kids on that day, but
really.
yeah.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder. Wow. Yeah. So it's an amazing work. So and I'm really
Beautiful.
happy that I started with that, because I can really see that this is taking me even deeper. This is more intense, and this is like, okay, when you dive into that, there's no, it's not about talking and thinking. It's only about feeling, and you know the truth by the way it feels, and that's so amazing.
Sounds really refreshing. And I just want to offer the audience an opportunity. I want to ask you, where could they find you to do this work with you? And I'm going to post your website for your clothing. Can people order that from all over? Is that just in Germany? If you
So,
could just.
so, I mean, I'm still like an apprentice in this work, so I need to experience some more. But I can already see that this is adding really a value to my coaching without words. This is already like, putting so much different energy, a different perspective, and it's adding so much value to my coaching. It's beyond words. So the coaching I'm doing worldwide on Zoom, and when I'm practicing a little bit more to work with the energy fields, then I will also offer family constellations online because that's also possible.
Beautiful. And how about the clothing company? How could people reach you through that?
Oh, you mean my shop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram with everything. I mean, from my shop, that's Spazio Concept Store in Germany, in Frankfurt. Frankfurt is in the middle of Germany. It's the banking capital of Germany. And yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I have an online shop. I have beautiful websites, spaziofrankfurt.de, and also, yeah, so I'm in the internet all over the place.
Beautiful. So I'll definitely post all of that in the caption here so people could access that easily.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. And I have a few more questions for you. I just want to be respectful of your time. So the first question is, what's your favorite food and or recipe?
Food is Vietnamese food and Japanese food.
Yum. Okay. And you spoke a little bit about this earlier, and I was so excited because I love Japanese food as well. Do you have like a certain food and Vietnamese food? Do you have like a favorite from either category that I
So
can maybe recreate?
so Vietnamese is very fresh, and I love it really, really spicy, hot. So I love the curry, like red curry, a green
Mm,
curry, and with chicken and vegetables and I don't know, the coriander and
mm.
stuff like that. So really, really spicy. And the Japanese food, it's more about harmony. So it's never too hot, never too cold, never too spicy, never too boring. So Japanese food is just about harmony and perfection. So I
I
eat
love that.
everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. So good. Okay, my next question is, if you could have a superpower, what would that be?
Yeah, to be free of a superpower. Hmm. Many things. So it's about being more joyful, more loving, more giving, more think, yeah, more of the things I really love.
Beautiful. Your true authentic self. That's what who we all are at our core, right? Just to like magnify that. I love that. All right. And my last thing is I just want to check in with you and see. I know we don't like to say the word.
The word,
We don't really say that word.
no.
But I just wanted to see if there's anything else on your heart or maybe a challenge you worked through during this time that would help inspire the audience, or anything that you could share that's helped you during
Yeah.
this time.
So that's something I really and I needed to tell myself as well in the last couple of months many times to be optimistic, to be loving, to be caring, and to stay open and positive and share your feelings and connect with others. Don't hide yourself and don't let negative thoughts take over. And yeah, try to remain grateful and do the best you can to overcome this crazy time. Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
difficult for all of us.
Yeah, it's been sometimes I shift. and then I gotta like realize like what's most important.
Yeah,
It's hard sometimes, you know.
it is because it's like we all have to establish a new lifestyle, and somehow it's good, but also I miss my old life, with all the
Yeah,
craziness and traveling around and going here and going there. But that's okay, and focusing on the good, focusing on the opportunities, on the chances, and not on what's missing. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, count your blessings. And I just want to thank you so much, Inga, for coming on the show and catching up with you. Has
Thank
been
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
I
It was
always love
so,
talking to you.
yeah, I love you. And
I
we
love
are
you
always
too.
soul sisters. We are always connected.
Absolutely.
Yes, you are one of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, same here. Love you so much.
Love you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
And you too, Angel. And I just want to honor and just thank everybody for watching today. I see you guys out there. Paul, Pete, Tale, everybody, Donna. Thank you so much. Love you guys. And I'll see you soon.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Ciao for now.
Bye bye.